Got him that time. Nice red. Nice way to start. Nice redfish on the Moonwalker. Crushed it. Those single end lines just did exactly what they were supposed to do and held on tight. What's going on, Salt Strong Nation? It's Matt in the Yak, and I got 8 rods in the back. So today I'm back with a really quick tip for you, and I want to give you a top water fishing checklist. So let's go ahead and get into that right now. So let's talk about our top water checklist. First thing we want to talk about is our topwater lure, right? We want to make sure we have a good topwater lure so that we can trigger those strikes, and a good topwater lure is one that has a good action and a good sound, and it also has good hooks. Now, the Salt Strong Moonwalker checks every single one of those boxes. It has an amazing action. It works in the morning, it works in the afternoon, it works in the evening, and not only is that rattle really awesome, but these hooks, I cannot say enough about these hooks. I know that a lot of people don't like single end lines. However, I'm here to tell you that these single end lines are sure to stay pinned to whatever fish you hook. Now, when you fish with treble hooks, you're often at a big risk of losing that fish because they can so easily shake those trebles. Now, that's not something you're gonna have to worry about with the Salt Strong Moonwalker. These are some of the strongest saltwater hooks around. They are amazing, and I have yet to have one fail me yet. Now, to continue down the line of your topwater fishing checklist, the next most important thing will be your leader. Now, this is very important. A lot of people just use the exact same leader that they use for everything else, and you know, that may be okay, that may get you by, but it may not be the best thing to do. What I like to do is actually use a heavier rated leader for my topwater setups than for most of my others. And the reason that is because on topwater, you have a much larger chance of hooking up to a bigger fish. Now, when I do hook up to a bigger fish, these single end lines, they are gonna help me, but also this heavier leader is gonna be a big help to me as well. The reason being, those bigger fish, they're a lot smarter, they can make runs, and they know how to fray and break off this leader. So it can often be more advantageous to beef up your leader, or even do the dirty deeks leader tippet, just like he's shown you. That can also be helpful, but having a good loop knot is also very important too. Remember, your setup is only as good or as strong as your knots. So you have to ask yourself, when you tie these knots, are you tying the knot that will allow you to land the fish of a lifetime? If you haven't, maybe you need to reconsider that, because when you're fishing topwater, your chances of hooking up to a big fish are much, much higher. Now, I am still using 10-pound braid because I'm not going to be fishing close to any structure, so I'm not worried about the abrasion of my braid, but it's more so for the mouth of those fish and where those fish may take me into with that leader. Now, the next thing on the topwater checklist will be the rod. Now, I will be showing you this with a Fitzgerald Aqua Dream rod. This is the 7.2 model, and the reason I like this one is because it allows me to fight that fish better from a kayak, and even this shorter model, I can still really bomb these Salt Strong Moonwalkers or any other topwater that I'm choosing to use, because it has a really great action on it. Now, this doesn't have as fast of an action as maybe some of my other rods. As you can see here, the deflection on this rod starts a lot lower in the blank, but that is actually exactly what I'm looking for when I throw topwater. When a fish hits that topwater lure, they often have to pull it underwater. So what you need is some flex in your rod and as well as in your leader line. That's why I use monofilament leader instead of fluorocarbon. The monofilament leader allows you to have a little bit of stretch that the fluorocarbon will not. So with the flex of the rod and the flex of the leader, you allow that topwater lure to be sucked underwater by that fish, so that once they get it under, if they take it under without getting hooked up, they can still come back to it without that lure being pulled away from them by too much strength in your rod. If you have a rod that has a really fast action and doesn't have a lot of flex to it, you can often lose fish as soon as they hit your lure. They'll get hooked up and they'll shake it immediately because there isn't any give for them when they go to make those head shakes. Most fish, when they hit on top, they are going to immediately start with some head shakes, and you need to have a rod that's going to allow for those shakes, not pull too hard on that bait so that they don't throw that hook when they go to thrashing when they get hooked. This Fitzgerald Aqua Dream rod does a great job of that. It has a real nice action on it. So when I do get a fish that goes to take off with my Moonwalker and goes down and starts doing some head shakes, I got some good bend in the rod that allows for those head shakes, doesn't let that fish shake my lure. So moving on in the Topwater checklist, right after a nice rod with a good moderate action, moderate fast action, I like to have a really nice reel that has a really fast pickup ratio. This right here is the Daiwa Ballistic. It does have an amazing pickup speed on it. It gives me almost 3 feet per turn of this reel handle, so I can pick up an amazing amount of line. If one of these fish, after they hit that topwater, does make a run straight at me, I can get that line in quick and get tight so that that fish doesn't shake me. That's super important with topwater, because when those fish hit, they're often going to immediately make a run, and you need to have a reel that can catch up to them if they run straight at you. Now, in conjunction, this rod and this reel are both super lightweight, which is perfect for these topwater applications, because when you're throwing a topwater, you need to get as far a distance as you can, and you need some good whip. That's another strength of this Fitzgerald Aqua Dream rod. It allows you to load up that topwater lure really well so that you can get some good distance on your cast. And when you do get that strike, you have some good flex so that that fish won't be able to shake your hooks. So if you're wondering where I caught those fish, we do share all of that information with our private insider members in our private insider community. And not only do they get to know where I caught those fish, I shared the information of the day, the tactics that allowed me to be successful on that day, as well as pinpoint that exact location on a map for our insiders. Not only do they get that information, but they do get discounts on everything that I have mentioned to you here. All of this equipment is available in our tackle shop at fishstrong.com. So if you're interested in some really good fishing information that'll help you get on some more fish, redfish, speckled trout, flounder, snook, and you're interested in saving 20 to 30% off all of your fishing tackle, you definitely need to check us out at saltstrong.com. And if you're new to Salt Strong, just know that we are the #1 online fishing club in America. We actually guarantee to help you find and catch more fish, save money on tackle, make friends while doing it, or it's free. So we hope to see you in the Salt Strong Insider Club soon, and thanks for watching.